Republican New York Representative Elise Stefanik has announced she will run for New York governor. She launched her campaign with a post on social media calling current Governor Kathy Hochul, quote, the worst governor in America. CBS News political reporter Zak Hudak is live to break it all down for us. Zak, thanks for joining us today. What initiatives can we expect from a Stefanik campaign?
Mugo, I think based on what Elise Stefanik has tried to do as a member of Congress, we can infer that she'll be looking at things like tax deductions. As a member from New York, she's been particularly focused on raising the SALT cap, which is basically a way for people who pay very high local taxes to, ideally for her and for her constituents, pay lower federal taxes. So I think things like that, things like affordable child care. She's talked a lot about increasing the trade between the U.S. and Canada. That particular issue, I suppose we'll see how that plays out, since the president, who Stefanik is closely allied with, has of course been in sort of trade negotiations with many of our allies.
Yeah.
But I think despite all of that, through her campaign, what we can kind of expect based on the video she released this morning is that she'll be framing this a lot as she is a counter to Zohran Mamdani in New York City. She is someone who has talked about previously using federal funds to deport illegal migrants who are living in sanctuary cities. New York, of course, is the largest sanctuary city in the country. So I think what we can expect from this campaign is that she will be constantly talking about how there is a counter needed to the democratic socialist running New York City, and how Kathy Hochul has actually cozied up a bit to Mamdani, despite some resistance in the beginning. So I think that we're going to hear a lot of that as her campaign progresses.
So as of right now, obviously this announcement was recently made, but how is Governor Hochul responding?
Her response is basically that Elise Stefanik is inauthentic and began as someone who worked for George W. Bush and for Paul Ryan. These are sort of classic moderates within the Republican Party, but who is now cozied up to President Trump to a point that she's called herself his #1 ally in Congress. The video that Hochul released this morning played that clip several times and is really trying to nail home that Stefanik is an ally of the president who is facing some difficulties politically right now. We saw that this past Tuesday in states like New Jersey and Virginia. Democrats performed more strongly than anticipated, and no question, a big piece of that is that some folks are frustrated with what the president's been doing and with things like tariffs, which have raised prices. So I think that for the sitting governor, her campaign, her presumptive campaign, will likely be focused on the idea that Elise Stefanik, as governor of New York, would be inserting the closest possible Trump ally as governor of New York, and President Trump's policies will be flourishing in New York in that case. So I think it's very much going to be a nationalized type campaign from the current governor, focusing on really President Trump more than anything else.
For sure. We'll see how it all plays out. Zak Hudak, thank you so much for joining us.